notice it until it changes. When it changes, I see it happen.
I'm kind of glad I haven't tweeted this out. I'm thinking we may cancel it if Evan doesn't show. I feel like we can do better.
How about now?
Here we go. Ryan,
there we are.
And you sound good.
Awesome.
I say we could do something either way. I mean,
okay.
Even if it's just a really quick thing.
Although we did get a million questions. See, the question is like, do we do it and not do the questions justice, or do we do it with the three of us to not let everyone down?
Maybe we could do it and then like.
I just wanted to get to them because we've had episodes in the past where people have asked questions and we just didn't get to their question.
Yeah. Speaking of, Alan's like on with us right now.
Say, does he have a mic?
That's what I just asked him.
Oh.
Even if he doesn't, I mean,
chatting.
on. I think he would do a great job. I've had a lot of conversations with him. He can hear us, I think.
Did you have to put the group chat into the...
Oh, I'll do it again. Hold on a second.
Yeah, sorry. When I reset, everything resets.
Definitely. I imagine you have the notes in front of you already.
Yeah. I can, or you guys probably have them as well.
Yeah, that's a lot of notes.
Do you have the notes already? Yeah, you do. And it's so weird that just a restart every single time fixes your problems.
I'm not sure. I should just kind of, maybe I should like go in ahead of time knowing I need to restart the laptop every time.
Maybe. I don't know.
Is it an old laptop?
About 3 or 4 so far. 3 years old, I'm guessing. 3 or 4. I got it right before I came to college. So 3 years old.
It's not very old.
It's Dell, so it's not the highest of quality.
I'm going to text Evan. I have his text. I have his actual phone number. I'm going to ask him if he's sober. I say that like while we're streaming. That was probably bad. All right. Alan in good form is getting beer. Did you guys know Alan sent us beer? Or me beer and Evan bourbon. And it was delicious. It was absolutely delicious. He lives in San Diego, so it ought to be delicious. Do you guys feel like there's a lot of good beer in San Diego?
I wouldn't know. And now Pony Trouter decided to restart.
We are just like, we're winning today. We are absolutely winning.
I don't know. I'll share a conversation they're having in one of my other Slack channels.
What's that?
It was like going through the sports, naming all the teams that you like, the one team you like and the team you dislike the most. I'm like the only one that's choosing Tottenham as my favorite, and all the other fans are choosing like Arsenal as their favorite, and Tottenham is the team they hate the most.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't feel like Tottenham's like the team to hate right now. They're never quite good enough to actually hate, right?
It's North London.
Okay.
Just like I guess Michigan football. They're not good, but I still hate them anyway. I hated them when they were 5-7.
I get that. That Michigan football is helpful for me as I don't follow English football that well.
I guess my favorite answer from that one was when we had to do an NBA team, and I really don't follow the NBA, so I did. And my favorite team is anyone playing the Golden State Warriors, and my least favorite team is the Golden State Warriors.
Just going for the Yankees of the NBA.
Yeah.
They're not exactly the Yankees, but close, right?
Now the Yankees haven't won anything in a while.
That's
2009, I'll call, was the last time they won.
True. Evan's out. What's up, buddy? Mommy went to hang out with her friends. I'll be back in a bit, guys.
No worries. Welcome back, Pony. Welcome back.
Comcast is worthless. Ugh, stupid Comcast. Unable to decides to reset my router at 6 at night. Phil went to go run and grab some ticket.
Yeah. So Cincinnati and MLS has to open against Seattle, Atlanta, and Portland.
Well, trial by fire.
Hazing. Someone's starting 0-3.
Yeah, if they get 4 points, I think they'll be happy.
I don't see it coming against Atlanta.
Yeah, I think I'd probably say over under 2.5.
I'll go with under. The best they'll do is get draws with Seattle and Portland.
I don't know. I think they could get lucky and get one win in there. I mean, even if they only win each game, maybe 10% of the time, you're still looking at about 40% chance of a win in there.
wish my desk was in a better spot because I have this like nice big scarf rack and this like wall that I'm facing, and I just can't like have it on behind me. One out in kind of like my living room area of my bedroom, but
Okay. Do we have Evan and Ryan on?
Both of us are here.
Okay. I'm going to tweet it out. We're going to go. We're going to do it.
We'll do it live.
We're doing it live. Oh, how do I find the? I know how I can do it. It'll take me a minute to tweet this out. I need to sign into the USL show on my computer so I don't have to do it on my phone every time.
Spider-Verse today, really good.
What was? Sorry.
I was just saying I saw Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse today, and the animation was fantastic.
I heard it's really good. A friend of mine loved it.
Yeah, that's one. I don't see a lot of movies, but that's one I want to try to get out to see.
It was very good. I really enjoyed it.
I just need to find time. It's too busy at work.
Yeah, so I work for myself, and I'm going to take a little bit of my day tomorrow to see the Mary Poppins movie. I'm taking a kid, but I would go whether he was there or not.
Sometimes it's good to have a kid. You have an excuse to go to those movies.
Well, when I went to the Spider-Man movie today, other than the adults that were dragged there, I was the oldest one that was like really into it.
Okay.
I know it's going to be Spider-Man. I want to see Aquaman as well, which I heard was solid.
Oh, really? It was good?
Not like best DC EU. Wonder Woman still tops it, but it's like second best to Wonder Woman.
Nice.
One of those just like you're not going to think deep about it. It's just going to be like a fun movie to watch for. I think the one mark against it was that it was like too long. It was like 2 hours and 2.5 hours or so.
I like a long movie usually if it's not boring.
Yeah, as long as it has a reason to be long.
Yeah, I think the only two I've hated that were really long that I almost walked out of the theater is the same director did one was The Thin Red Line, and he also did one about one of the early explorers in the United States. They were so boring. They're so artsy. It was one of those where it's like a 20-second shot of a leaf blowing in the wind with the sun behind it.
Revenant that had really a lot of like kind of tracking shots.
Yeah, exactly.
What's up, Alan?
Alan's here.
Ooh.
How's it going?
You made it home.
Yeah, I got home. Dogs are outside running around.
I'm just glad we have another guy. This is great. If Harry was here, I'd throw him on too. I say that now. He's gonna be so mad. Welcome, dude. What beer did you get?
Picked up a couple different Modern Times beers. They do like can releases like once a month. They just opened a new spot up in North County, San Diego. So they brewed a beer just for that. And then there's like a regular IPA and then a Berliner. Because my wife likes the sour stuff.
Yeah, me too. I haven't tried the raspberry you gave me yet. It's the last one.
Yeah, you hold on to it?
No, yeah, I've been saving it a little bit. I almost had it last night because I was feeling it, but anyway.
Yeah, those are good ones. We picked up like a pallet full because that brewery closed. So they're just giving them away practically.
That's really sad because I was writing down the names of those beers you gave me because 2 of them I thought were incredible. The one that was the Teddy Roosevelt one was was like the second favorite of the batch.
Yeah, Bully Pulpit. That's a good one.
That was good. And the other one was a different brewery, but you know, all of it was good.
That was probably the Orderville.
Yeah.
Green can.
Yeah, it was so good.
Yeah, that's modern times. They like so much ingredients in their beer that it's like packed with flavor.
Yeah. I tried a beer today and my dad was like, I went to lunch with my dad and it was this weird one. It was really weird. I said, oh, I thought it would be more hoppy. And my dad said, it was really hoppy. I said, oh, well, stupid, like ridiculous beers all the time. Too much flavor.
Yeah,
anyway, Alan, you good? I'm going to do my best to host without reading the notes. We're going to do it on the fly.
Sounds good.
Hey, wait.
What's up, Laura?
All right. It's getting better by the second.
Hey!
I'm going to go ahead and tell the BGN people that they can join in on the fly if they want. Otherwise, we're going to get going.
Yeah, it should be interesting now.
Yeah, this is much better. I was like a few seconds away from giving up, and then Alan joined. Ryan got back on. We're good.
Hold on, I'll send you guys the group or the show notes, the little book behind the magic.
You gonna post it on the YouTube? That'll be a good idea, actually.
Yeah, or on the YouTube, I just send it into the group chat.
That works too. I think it'd be interesting for the YouTube chat to see it one of these days. Okay. To join. All right. BGN has been notified. I'm hitting record. Here we go, y'all. All right, it's the USL show. It's the Christmas special. I'm Phil Grooms. Evan's not here, but we have lots of other friends joining us tonight. I do want to say first that it's the USL show brought to you by the Beautiful Game Network. And this is kind of the BGN Christmas special is kind of what I've been thinking of it as because we do have a guest, and that guest is Laura Ellen has joined us from Womongols.
There it is.
So, Laura, thanks for joining me. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, I am doing great. I completely forgot that this was happening. And I was like, well, I have nothing better to do tonight. But also, I just love hanging out with all my friends. And I love the USL. And I cannot wait for the season to get started. So this sounds like a great use of my time.
Yeah, it's actually a really common theme for all of us here tonight. We have nothing better to do. Bunch of nerds. But I do need, before I forget, I need to also say that this show is brought to you by Roughneck Scarves. Thank goodness, because we all love Roughneck Scarves, and we'll talk about that later. Our other special guest tonight is Alan Underwood is joining us, who often signs in to talk to us on the chat and also has really good questions that we like to never answer. Alan, thanks for joining us, man. We caught you when you were driving home from buying beer tonight, so that's good.
Yeah, I got to pick up some beer every once in a while to keep the refrigerator stocked.
Yeah, stocked with delicious beer. I said it on Twitter. I'm going to say it now. Alan sent me some delicious beer, and I got to try to do my best to send him something from Missouri that's equally as good. So we'll see if I can match him in any way. But thanks for that, Alan. It was amazing. Really good beer.
Of course.
The other two, I'm not going to say any kind of special intro. We got Ryan from Wilmington. And you're back at home, aren't you?
Yeah, back at home for holiday until I go back to ECU for one more semester of undergrad.
Mm-hmm. And then what? More school, right?
The master's program, yeah.
Yep. Good for you, pal. Also, we have Pony is here to join us again. Pony, how's it going on the West Coast?
Not bad. Staying to get in, going around work. It's getting busy at this time of year.
Yeah, you've been especially busy lately. You've been racing home to kind of join us. So
yeah,
thanks for
record an hour after I get off of work on a good day.
Right on. Well, we got lots of questions, and we're gonna try to hit them all. Last count, Ryan, I think we had 18, right?
Correct.
So yeah, Thanks for doing that. First of all, I love that people care enough to respond to us putting out a random tweet to ask us questions. Goodness gracious, that's loud. What is that? I thought maybe someone was eating some chips. Okay, let's move on. The first question we have is from the Soccer Goose. So that's a good way to start. What makes you more excited for the 2019 season compared to the 2018 season? We'll start with that. And Pony, have you thought about this one?
Probably balanced schedule more than anything else. Everyone plays everyone twice. That's something I like because there's no one who could, I think they say, well, I played this team 3 times and they were the good team, or this was the bad team. That's the only reason why this guy got in. It makes it all nice and clean.
It does. Ryan, I know you love that too.
Yeah, I have to echo that sentiment. The balanced schedule is going to make everything easier, and it's just going to be a lot more fair if. And I guess another thing I'm excited for is to see the new expanded playoff format in action with the 7v10, kind of have that play-in spots for those final 2 spots of the playoff.
Yeah, Laurellen, how do you feel about the play-in spots?
Oh, wow. That's not where I thought that question was going. No, I mean, I don't know. Like, I think my whole thing with the USL and like, I guess it's like, well, what is like your purpose, or what are your thoughts about the purpose of the league, right? Is the purpose of the league to be like the professional soccer league in the US? And I would probably say the answer is probably no to that. But like, is it to give these players as much playing time and to give the fans as much of an opportunity to see their teams play as possible? And then I would probably say yes. And I think that I'm going to like tie it back into what I'm most excited about. And I'm really excited for all these new teams that are coming in. I mean, we're certainly sad that we lost some of the teams that we, did lose, like goodbye Penn FC, I guess you're on hiatus, or Penn 15 or whatever you want to call them. But, right. But like, I'm really excited for like a lot of the new teams that are coming, and just to see like how their dynamic is going to change the conferences, but then change the league overall.
Yeah. So Alan, just like Ryan, has no current team in his actual hometown, right, in San Diego. So Let's hear an outsider's opinion. What is your unbiased opinion about what's the best thing about this year compared to last year?
I'm excited for some of the new teams. I mean, I'm kind of new to USL to begin with, so this year was like a huge learning curve for me getting into USL. But I think having the balanced schedule is going to be nice. I think being able to know kind of where your teams are going to end up and kind of build those rivalries, I guess, in division or in conference, I think will be kind of fun to see those kind of grow, especially in Southern California. You got a couple of new closer teams, at least. Doesn't seem like everyone's so far away besides just Orange County.
Yeah, right. So you made a drive once or twice up to OC. And how far are you far from Phoenix, or is OC the only close club for you?
OC is like an hour and a half. Phoenix, I mapped it out yesterday to do like a road trip. It's about 5.5 hours.
Yeah, that's borderline. That's a good trip.
Right. So I was thinking about like really picking a good team to go see out there, and because Phoenix is killing it with their social media game right now.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So I've been like more and more excited about that team and checking them out.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that someone posted that they were in the top 10 for all soccer in the United States as far as Instagram is concerned. And so that was cool. They were up there with like LAFC, and I forgot what the other huge ones were in MLS. So that was cool. Anyone have a favorite album of the year? Goose is asking about favorite album. I listen to too many podcasts, so I'm a little bit out. Laura Ellen, I feel like you might be the best person to ask this.
Oh God, really? No. So here's the thing. So, we mentioned school already, and I am like, I think I'm on year like 21 of education in my life. So I've been in school way more than I've not been in school. So I listen to a lot of like piano calming music to help me with my writing and with my studying, which is not like cool stuff to listen to. I have really been enjoying, this is like really millennial of me, I feel, but I've really been enjoying Mumford & Sons new album. But like, right, like that's so, anyway, it's fine.
We're judging you hard right now.
I know, it's really bad.
It's not, no. I've actually seen a lot of people saying how they like Someone said that recently about how they know that it's like so common in such a classic band, but they still can't stop liking them. And I can relate to that for sure with pop bands. I'm a sucker for pop music.
I know. It's just there's something about it. It just I don't know. It's fine. I just own it. Like this is who I am. I like my Starbucks lattes and my Mumford and Sons. Here we are.
I kind of want to hear what Ryan and Tony listen to while they're crunching numbers. Ryan, what do you listen to?
Typically it's either at least when I'm driving, I listen to a lot of the 70s or 80s channel and then sets from Grateful Dead.
Oh wow. I did not see that coming, sir. That's really interesting. What got you into Grateful Dead?
My dad.
That was my first guess, actually. Would have been my first guess. Pony, how about you?
I'm like you. I'm mostly a podcast person.
Same. I know. I'm a musician, and that's like all I listen to now. I don't know.
I think if you offer me $1 million to name 10 albums that came out this year, I could not do it. There is zero chance.
So sad. I'm so bad with names. There's a few bands that I can't think of the names of right now that I've been listening to. Alan is a band director, and surely you listen to music of some sort. It doesn't have to be new. What is your jam?
Lately, Childish Gambino. We went and saw him in LA. It was phenomenal. Nice. I posted this in the chat. Like for some reason, like Miley Cyrus, the 2 tunes she played on Saturday Night Live, like I'm like in love with Nothing Breaks Like a Heart. I don't know what it is. It's like my jam right now. Like I don't know, but yeah, Childish Gambino, The Roots. Let's see what else I listened to yesterday. Weezer, because of that same SNL sketch. We went back to Pinkerton and put on Pinkerton.
Yeah,
we're pretty eclectic around here.
What was the phrase in that skit? Like, do you even listen to Weezer? Do you even know Weezer?
There were like so many great one-lines. Like I was just dying laughing the entire sketch about like that is definitely conversations I've had about Weezer before with other people for sure.
Yeah, so I'm still an SNL lover, and I still love Weezer, of course. And what was the band you just listed? The hip hop band? What was
The Roots?
No, the one before that.
Childish Gambino.
Yeah, I'm so bad with names. Childish Gambino's last album was like just like mind blowing to me.
Yeah, because it was like not rap like his other albums. It was like
super funky. Yeah,
it was great.
It was really good. So listen to that if you haven't already. I was trying to kill time to try to find the albums I was talking about, but we should just move on. The other one he asked is if you could be a part. I love this question. If you could be a part of any sitcom friend group, who would you choose? And I'm going to lead off because without a doubt, I would do anything to hang out with the guys in Scrubs. I love it. I want to be their third best friend. So, Alan, do you have another one in mind?
So we're rewatching Scrubs right now, so that was perfect. Probably Community.
Oh yeah, that one's good. I feel like me and my friends constantly talk about Community and Parks and Rec.
Yes.
And The Office, even though it's old, constantly. Ryan, how about you?
I'd probably have to say Parks and Rec. and especially just because like Leslie Knope is like the best motivator in television.
It's a positive influence in television these days, you know, it's good. It's like Mr. Rogers, but funny. Pony, how about you?
This is another bad question for me. I don't watch sitcoms.
Yeah, it's so boring.
I was trying to think of something that has a name that might be fun to hang out. I don't know. Let's go really old school and say like Cheers.
Yes, I love it.
I'd like to sit there and just yell Norm.
It's a place where everyone knows your name.
Exactly.
So
the extended version of the theme song. That extended version of the theme song is a great song.
Yeah, 100%. If you came in a bar, I'd scream Pony real loud. Maybe we can make that happen someday. Laura,
I'll try to avoid that.
Well, it would probably either be a toss-up. So I loved the show Chuck. I've seen it so many times. So that like friend group I feel like would be tons of fun. Or this is like a very weird show, but I don't know if anyone remembers Dharma and Greg, which was like a weird, like, I don't even remember. It had to be on like in the 90s. It's on anyway, but like, just like so he was this lawyer and she was this like hippie, and they got married on their first date, I think, and it like talks about their marriage anyway, but like hilarious. And so either Chuck or Dharma and Greg.
Thought of another one, Psych. That show.
Ooh, nice.
Haven't tried that one yet, but it's on the list. So now that gives me a little more encouragement to check that one out. I had a huge crush on Dharma when that first came out, by the way. She's a cute
so good, right? Yeah.
All right. Let's move on. This one's from @RGCLT. I can't tell if that's Rio Grande or Charlotte. I like that it's a mix. If you were known as the soccer animal, as in not the soccer goose, that one's taken, as we all know. What animal would you be? He wants an answer from every single one of us. So any volunteers for the first one? I wish I did this better. I'm trying to think of a wavy animal. How about a koala? I think I'll be a soccer koala.
There you go.
Pretty laid back.
I don't even know what I would be. I'm trying to think like so I played goalkeeper when I played soccer, so I was like pretty loud. But I don't know that like, accurately and I'm a pretty loud cheerer. If anyone has been to any Riverhounds games, which actually I don't think any of you have been to any Riverhounds games, but you're all welcome to come whenever you want. Please come and join us. But I'm pretty loud also, so I don't know like what animal is loud, like a lion maybe, but I also like the idea of like a unicorn, like the soccer unicorn. I just feel like that's tons of fun. But I don't really have a good reason for it, for sure.
I think that's a good enough reason. If what's the reason for Goose? Oh, because his name sounds like Goose. I get it. That's why. Ryan, have you thought of anything?
I'm trying to blank. I am really unsure, but I don't know. I guess I have 2 cats, so I'll go with cats or something.
Oh, now sorry, Pony doesn't know what to say. Except it's Pony. Is it Pony, Evan?
Well, let me think long and hard about this one. Gotta go with squirrel. No.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, this one's obvious.
I don't think anyone has ever asked you, and I think this is a good time for it, considering it's the Christmas special and we all need a Christmas miracle. What is the reason behind Iron Pony Chef? Can you give us an explanation here?
Oh my gosh, it is a Christmas miracle.
I discussed that with Kevin on something. Maybe it's just over messages or something.
Yeah, you've never said it on the show, and I feel like this could be like groundbreaking for this episode.
I could have sworn I did at once. Maybe, I guess not, if no one actually remembers me saying it. But it's just it's just a matchup of two, My Little Pony, hence My Little Avatar and all that stuff, and Iron Chef. It's just a way of combining the two, since there's one episode early on, there's a tie-in of a competition to be the Iron Pony. So I just crammed 2 things together.
What show was the Iron Pony on? Was that on a show, or you're just
No, that's My Little Pony.
Okay. I like it. So you just love these 2 shows, and
yeah, it's 2 shows I like, and found a way to combine 2 things into one and just ran with it.
I like it.
Definitely not the most professional Twitter handle in the world, but
it's more memorable than many.
It's not LinkedIn.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, exactly. It's not LinkedIn. But you will have random My Little Pony kind of references from time to time when we talk. So
yeah, I try to throw some puns in.
I like it. I was more of a Care Bear guy, but you do your thing. Alan, we haven't heard from you in a minute. What would be your soccer animal?
Probably a sloth, because it's like super slow and probably really unathletic. So I chose music. Sports was never like a huge thing in my life. I played soccer when I was a little kid, and I had to choose pretty much between trombone and soccer, and I chose trombone. And the rest is history, I guess. But yeah, I tried hockey for a minute, broke my leg. Like, it was just, I think just staying on the sidelines, enjoying other people playing an incredible game is kind of where I'm at. So probably sloth.
Sloth is good. Sloth is made, I feel like, what is the show? Zootopia made sloths cool, right? Or were they already? I may be alone in that. I think sloths are cool, especially because of that movie. Moving on. I have 2 kids. USL memes. Tell me which clubs are on the naughty and nice list. Is this easy? Do we get to include he who should not be named? Pony, I'm going to let you start, and you can decide that, right?
No, we don't talk about that anymore. We decided that.
So it shall remain unnamed. So we have to pick a different one, which makes this harder.
Well, I think the obvious pick for they're taking similar-ish tactics for a similar reason is Nashville is kind of gonna supplant the other team as the one the neutrals cheer against for the most part. I still also say MLS2 teams are along the same lines because kind of my rant about TamGam is they have a piece and a skill that no other team has that's not an MLS2 team. And I think that's where you turn to me from being a rootable team to one that I don't mind watching, but I don't want to win because there's something there that no one else can do.
Yeah. Is there a good guy for you?
Anyone who's not Nashville or MLS2 teams are good with me.
Indy sides are good for Pony. Perfect.
Well, and that is interesting because I was like, oh, like there is only one team that has been in the USL in recent history that like is on the naughty list for me. Like I think for the most part, like most teams, like sure there's the occasional like, you know, Twitter snafu or like, you know, something crazy happens at a game or, you know, but I think for the most part, like these clubs like really want the best for their players. And so for me, I'm like, you're doing all you can in a country where, you know, soccer isn't, you know, the predominant sport, which I think is like a really challenging thing to do. So I don't know, like I want to say that they're all on the nice list, but that like seems, you know, it's like, oh, like, you know, she doesn't really have critical thought. But like I do agree, like I feel like Nashville, like especially with some of like their recent signings, I'm like, come on guys, like really is it we're doing this again? Like, and you know, I wanted to like Nashville because like Taylor Washington, yeah, anyway, I could go on a long tangent about that, but like I don't know, I thought Nashville was better than that, but here we are.
Yeah, so in the YouTube chat, Ryan mentioned how, you know, Cameron Lancaster got 26 goals last year and he's rumored to go to Nashville. I don't think it's official at this point. They got Belmar. They're signing guys like crazy. Rios. But you know, I talked to the GM from St. Louis today, and he made a really good point. Harry said, I think Phoenix has a better attacking side compared to Nashville. And I really am like shocked that like, how come we haven't lashed out at Phoenix at all? I mean, they had Drogba. Drogba played for Phoenix, and they should have been the bad guy at that point, right?
I think it's MLS where the ones who are leaving and preparing their team more as a MLS farm side or MLS trial team as opposed to Phoenix just saying, well, we're going to play within our bounds. And I agree. I think right now Phoenix is the favorite to win the USL by a little bit over Nashville. But I think Phoenix has been overall, they don't have that advantage. I mean, if you want to throw money at someone and say, we're the Yankees, cool, own it. But if you're going to throw the money at someone and say, yeah, and we're enticing players with a promise of, if you do good, you're on an MLS team. That's where I start. It just doesn't feel right because who else can do that?
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you there for sure. I am surprised you just said Phoenix might be better than Nashville because they're not
directly the Nashville side and just getting loaned down to the Nashville USL team. Same with Rios.
Yeah, I think so. And there is like a mix up of money. We've talked about that, how the Nashville MLS side has a different bank account than the USL side. And so there's a discount there. And I don't even think we've seen much of it yet. I think there's going to be a little bit worse in that way happening throughout the year, but we'll see. We'll see. Alan, what do you think?
I already kind of talked about how much I've been really enjoying Phoenix. Like Sam Dorr on Twitter is like really engaging people and like figuring out ways to make it better for the fans. And as someone who's outside, like my Orange County, like I follow Orange County and Phoenix, and the Orange County feed is dead. Like very little player announcements, and Phoenix is like pumping stuff out like on the daily, engaging their fans. and even their fans are super engaging too. So it's like you want like kind of following Orange County this year. I kind of wanted to hate Phoenix a little bit because it was kind of like this, like who's going to pull it out at the end. But they've been like super engaging. The way they like brought their fans out to OC last year was crazy awesome too. So I think they're doing a great job of trying to make it a place where people want to go and be a part of.
Harry said exactly the same thing in the chat, just to say that. Here he said it's Sam Dorr. I think they're just so nice to people on Twitter and everywhere is what he says. Steven Hernandez agrees with him. Pony, what were you about to say?
I say, you know what Orange County needs to happen for the social media presence? Pat McAfee coming back.
Yeah, for sure. The most tweets this year.
That'll do it. Let's move on. This is our first question from an actual club, Forward Madison. I like to believe that Peter Wilt wrote this. I'm just going to pretend in my dreams that that's what happened. How many flamingos does it take to screw in a light bulb? Anyone want to tackle that?
LED or regular?
No, that makes a difference because if it's LED, right, it has like the spirals and maybe they can use their beaks to like leverage it. I was like seriously thinking, I'm like, okay, if flamingos are working together like at the 360 degrees that a normal bulb would be, and then divide that by the angle of the beak, and then the math got really complicated. So I'm gonna go with 5.
5.
11.
Okay.
I found my senior portfolio project.
Boom! You're welcome.
See how long to get kicked out of the local zoo.
Excuse me. For sure.
Excuse me, sir. I would like to measure the angle of the underside of the flamingo beak. Yes, thank you.
Oh man. Yeah, so I'm actually picturing just a meme of fake, or a gif of fake flamingos trying to screw in a light bulb by a bunch of humans below them. That's what I'm picturing. So I have no other answer than that. Thanks for the nonsense again, Peter Wilt. Keep sending us great questions. I'm gonna say this wrong. Belkaur Alzma, Ismail Belkura. I'm glad he wrote his real name in there. Sorry, all. I know it's soccer, but what expansion team so far has you the most hyped? I know it's early, but still. Expansion team. There's lots of them. We talked about all the new crests and all that. And Pony, you have an early favorite in that way. Does that affect your favorite team overall?
Well, yeah, I still like the House of Crest, scarf. I actually have one.
Oh, nice. You're wearing it.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're going to say most hyped and I think we're going to be good, that's still New Mexico right now for me.
Are you following their signings? They're one team that I haven't seen the signings I haven't followed them very well.
Yeah, I need to pull up all the notes for who they signed, but I think they've been pretty active and have a decent start. I could be very wrong on them like I was on Fresno last year, but I also was right on Nashville to an extent. So
that's true.
We'll see. I'll split the difference and probably finish.
I'll cut in here just to say that I've been hearing some things about Hartford, and it's a Jimmy Nielsen team. And Pony, I think they may compete for your new favorite just because of the way they build their team. If they're anything like OKC with Jimmy Nielsen, I think you may enjoy their style of play a little bit, is all I'm going to say. And based on a couple of the rumors of players going there, that's one to watch once they start announcing a little bit more. Ryan, do you have a favorite?
Well, I side with Pony just saying like I really love the El Paso crest, but I think the big team I'm looking out for right now, just based off of signings, is New Mexico United. Just that it almost seems like they're becoming the Charlotte Independents of the West. And if we remember from basically a few years ago, no, not necessarily last season for Charlotte, that the Independents were very much a solid playoff team in the Eastern Conference. And if New Mexico can kind of like emulate that with a lot of their current kind of signings, I feel like they could actually be a relatively good mid-table side in the West.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout. Laura, how about you?
We actually talked about this on Mongols this week, and I'm excited about Birmingham. I don't have a really I said this on the show also, but like I don't have a good reason. I haven't really looked at their signings but I think I am I get excited when I see culture beginning to develop in a really fun and effective way. And I think they are doing that. I think a lot of, I think like Memphis is another good example of that. But I think like that's a really important thing to build the culture. We saw like on the MLS side, I don't know, I'm sure most of you watched the MLS final, right? But like seeing Atlanta, seeing just like all that was happening there, seeing what's happening, not only in the stadium on the field, but then also in the community. I think that makes like a big difference for a club, that makes a big difference for a community. And so I think if, I'm looking beyond just, what's happening on the field, but then also thinking about the culture and the community that this team is moving into, I think, I'm excited to see what happens with Birmingham. So yeah.
Yeah, I pulled it up. Some notable New Mexico signings. There's like Kevon Frater, Cody Mazzell, Sante Moir, Josh Suggs, David Estrada. They're going to be an okay team, I think.
Mazzell's there, huh? I didn't catch that. Interesting. Ellen, are you seeing one that you like?
Not necessarily one. I just kind of like the growth of the soccer in the southwest of the country. It's been kind of fun to see that growth as well. When I first started kind of paying attention, it seemed to be like NorCal and kind of north toward Canada, and then a bunch of like East Coast. Like East Coast to me is pretty much anything past Denver. But there wasn't a whole lot happening out here. And like just to see that kind of growth coming out this way is like fantastic to me. So because what that means for, me in San Diego means that there's a chance that people might actually start looking at building things here, which would be a miracle.
There's rumors, man. We'll see what happens.
For what it's
last reach. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, for what it's worth, when I moved from like out towards Philadelphia to Pittsburgh, I was absolutely convinced that I moved into the Midwest. I was like, this is not the East anymore. Like, this is like Pittsburgh, I think, is like the beginnings of the Midwest. But anyway, that's just, it makes me laugh.
I think that's a little fair because Pittsburgh is probably the most Midwestern Eastern city I've been in personally. But I
oh my gosh.
I imagine Baltimore might be similar as well, but I don't know.
No, well, anyway, that's a whole other conversation. But yeah, no, it was definite culture shock moving from like out towards Philadelphia to then, and people aren't so nice in Philly to then, moving to, Pittsburgh. And I was like, oh my God, I live in the Midwest now. Okay.
People are kinder. Those
I will say, I want to see that.
Sorry,
I will say I definitely want to see a growth of teams kind of in that weird region that's like in between Washington and Minnesota, just like Idaho, Montana, the Dakotas. I don't know, like FC Fargo or Yellowstone FC or something like that. It just seems like whenever you look at a map of USL or any American soccer, there's just a dearth or like a circle that's like just missing in there. And I feel like we definitely need clubs kind of populated in that region, or even like Blue Turf Boise City.
Oh my gosh, Ryan, you really struck a chord with me on that one. If we could get like, I don't know if Smokey the Bear has copyright infringement rights of any kind, but if we could make Smokey the Bear, part of Yellowstone FC, just make him their mascot, or just put him up top as a 9 target striker. Let's just do that, please.
If the USL team in Boise isn't on the blue turf, they have failed as a team.
I agree. The blue turf. Yeah. I didn't catch on to that the first time, but yeah, that's amazing. Blue and orange with the blue turf. Nailed it. Why? I was thinking that today because St. Louis doesn't have turf right now. They're putting a new one down. I was like, it's kind of silly, like paint it green to make it look like grass, but they could really be getting experimental with this if they wanted to. So that would be my question. We will not answer is what color turf would you like your team to have? Think about that. Maybe we'll cover it later. Reading United, another team. Oh, are they an NASL team or NPSL team? I feel like they are. Anyone have correction there? In the Pennsylvania area, one of the better tier 4 teams in the U.S. Is cereal considered a soup? Open table on this one. Anyone want to comment?
Are hot dogs considered tacos? And they're a League 2 team.
What are they? Sorry?
League 2.
Oh, okay, League 2. Thank you. So not PDL, but League 2. Thank you. Cereal, soup. I'm gonna say no because it's not really like you're actually putting ingredients together. It's just two things, and then you eat it.
I would also say no.
Yeah. What's your reasoning though?
Well, I was just thinking about ice cream. So cereal is essentially like, because when you go to like the new fancy like hipster ice cream places, you can put cereal on your ice cream, and I'm thinking that if you put cereal, which is, some form of milk, whether it's, comes from a cow or comes from, milked almonds, like it's essentially just melted ice cream, right? So I don't consider ice cream soup. That's my reasoning, which makes zero sense, but I'm sticking with it. So.
Yes, I only say no because there's no cooked elements in it. Like if you're gonna put something like you want to cook the cereal or something and then put it in soup or put it in milk, I actually might be willing to consider that a soup. Or if you're going to heat the milk for some really weird, horrible reason, I think to me that's what soup is. Some solid in a liquid that you just cooked one of them or heated one of them.
I'm trying to think if you cook cold soup like borscht.
Well, yeah. Well, I was going to say, don't you cook gazpacho?
I think you need to cook.
It's like you cook it, but then it's chilled, right?
Yeah, soup involves cooking to me.
That could be
okay. Or I was just going to say, Merriam-Webster defines soup as a liquid food, especially with a meat, fish, or vegetable stock as a base, often containing pieces of solid food.
Stop.
So that's liquid with solid food sounds pretty cereal to me.
Even
Ryan, no one asked you.
I could understand a yes argument here, but I think it's still no.
I think with soup, the liquid's the star, but with cereal, it's all about like the solid stuff. I think with soup, to me, it's like the liquid stuff is the important, and like the solid stuff is like extra to make the soup better, or at least like I can eat this now. Versus like cereal, like I sometimes eat cereal without milk, and my wife hates it, and she makes fun of me all the time. But I eat cereal without milk, so.
Yeah, so maybe the question is like, what do you do with the liquid when you're done with all of the solid pieces, right? Like with soup, most of the time you're going to drink like even if it's like a cream based or, whether it is like a vegetable broth based, but like with cereal, unless, you grew up in the household like I did, and we, my dad made us sit there and drink our soggy cereal milk. Until we were finished, it didn't matter. Right, exactly. You finish what, but with soup, that wasn't a problem. With cereal, it's like a whole different thing. I think that's a good point.
Man, we got a lot more in there than I thought we would, so well done. At OCSC Soccer Cast, what's up, boys? Thanks for asking us a question, part of the Beautiful Game Network. Which USL Cup final team has the better odds of returning this season? So Louisville or Phoenix, everybody? Let's just go down the line, Alan. What do you think?
I think because what we've talked about, I think Phoenix has the better chance. I think we're a strong team that got stronger in the offseason.
They're adding some good pieces for sure. Laura Ellen, what do you think?
I'm going to say Phoenix because that means that the Riverhounds are going to the final and we're going to win the league. So bring it.
I read you on that one. I saw it coming. Ryan, what do you think?
Phoenix, I just think that Louisville lost Cameron Lancaster, and it's just I haven't seen like pieces getting replaced for Jetsing. Seems like he's headed up to MLS as well. Well, and Phoenix is bringing back players. And they, like we said in the group, they have the best attacking core in the league now. I just feel like they're more tapped to return. I guess the one thing Louisville has going for them is that the Eastern Conference is a 4-time USL champion at the moment.
You, as in you've predicted them?
No, the Eastern Conference has won the last 4 USL Cups.
Oh, sorry, got it. I heard you wrong. My mistake. Pony, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Phoenix just because there's more good teams in the East, where I think there's more clear stumbling blocks for Louisville, especially if they're losing some key players, than there is out west for Phoenix. I mean, I think just trying to, off the top of my head, I think my top 10 teams might be 6 or even 7 in the East. But that's still a bit too early to get into that one, I think.
That's exactly how I feel, so I won't even comment further than that. At Lean Heart is Anthony Leanhart. Any plans to bring back the Eastern Conference Confidential? That's an old school shout, a little bit. I know it's only a year ago, but we didn't have many listeners. And, the USL show, gosh, you guys all bless us with listening to our stuff and actually commenting and giving us lots of questions like today. ECC, Ryan, Pony, you guys want to revive it someday?
I listened to it, but I never was on it.
Oh, that's right. You're on the West anyway. What am I thinking, Ryan? Would you want to do it? I think it could possibly be something we need to do if this league gets any bigger. I've thought about that in the past.
I don't know. It's weird. Like I've been speaking as it seems like with the kind of balanced schedule, it seems like they were trying to target like a max height a maximum number of teams in the league. So I guess we are kind of reaching a point where 36, we might get to that kind of upper limit of the league for how far up we can go. So it seems like 34 matches has been kind of that sweet spot for how many teams they want in the league. So unless they want to do 3 conferences of 18, and I feel like we're starting to approach kind of that upper limit.
Yeah, that's a really good point. 3 conferences could mess it up. And I will say that I think before we see ECC make a return, I think we'll see hopefully a League One USL show, because I think that's something that we're all going to need in the near future, because there's already word that awesome interview came out with Brian Soretta did an interview with Jake Edwards. I hope you all read that on what was it, Soccer America or Soccer, I forgot what it was, .com, but look that up, because he mentioned on there a Central Conference. He also mentioned that there may be 2 conferences in League One next year. So League One's going to need a lot more love in the future that we won't be able to provide. So hopefully that pops up in the future. I say that so that if anyone is following a League One team, start a podcast. Just start it now. And even if you suck for a while, maybe you'll get better. I hope we get better every year. I hope. At Mongols, never heard of these assholes before, but I'll read it anyway. How long before USL? That was for you. How long before a USL League One team wants to move to USL Championship? Honestly, this is an awesome question. Laura Ellen, would you like to answer this one? I hope you didn't ask.
I didn't. I will not disclose who runs the Mongols or the Woe Mongols Twitter accounts. But I think it's gonna be one season. I genuinely, I think, I just, I think some of the teams, pop down for, the next, the 2019 season. And I have a feeling after season, they're like, okay, I think we're getting our footing. And, I think it's going to take maybe not after the first season, but maybe the second season. I don't think it's going to take very long. Which, I think could then just get really interesting. I don't know. I think the whole kind of structure is, I don't know. It's going to be interesting in the next, 5 to 7 years in U.S. soccer, especially lower division soccer. I just think there's fun times to be had by all, for sure.
Most definitely. Who else wants it on this?
I think there's 2 quite between wants to and will are very different answers. I think will 2 years maybe like the 2021 season. The first team was actually playing down this year will play up. But wants to, I think that was however many days ago the first new USL 1 team was announced. I don't think any of those guys are saying, oh yeah, we're going to stay here. I think the ultimate goal is to move up. And I think if they can, basically every single one of those teams that did not voluntarily step down wants to be a USL team.
It's really well said. Anyone else have thoughts about that?
I guess one team you may want to tap is if Phoenix becomes one of the next teams to get MLS up into 32, you could see Tucson step up and kind of move into their kind of championship side. But yeah, I would think that all the teams currently in USL League One, even North Texas as an MLS2 side, should have the desire to want to move up, because it will only push their team to wanting to be better, to have higher standards for their field, their players, their team, and all of that. And so I think all the teams should have the ambition to move up. Now, if they have the manpower and the finances behind it, is still yet to be seen. But yeah, I feel like just having the ambition is a really good place to start.
Yeah, totally agree with you guys. I think you nailed it. The only thing I'll add to that is that I think some of these MLS2 sides are like sitting and watching what League One's going to look like. And so if it looks good, like if it looks like the competition's pretty good and like North Texas SC is able to play their kids and still look decent and challenge them, maybe even make their kids look bad at times, I think they're going to really like that. So if League One quality is good, we might even see some two sides drop just because they'll be like, well, we can spend less and still have a good amount of competition and perhaps not make these indie sides so angry that we have no fans on game day. So that's something I would watch. Anyone else want to say anything before we move on?
Yeah, I mean, I think just going off of that point, I think that really does touch on something that I've thought a lot about. And at least I think this past season, I heard a lot of players talking about just, and coaches too, but like the quality of the players in USL just increased, pretty drastically, or I think over the course of the last season. And I think you had a couple external environmental factors that contributed to that. But all of that to say that I think, I think you're right. If USL Championship, it's very confusing, but anyway, if USL Championship continues to increase the quality of play, then I think you're absolutely right. I think some of those teams may feel more comfortable being like, all right, we'll just be in League One. We don't have as many requirements. We can still get high quality play. I think where it will be interesting is where kind of the union part comes into it. And, if the unions are only covering, USL Championship, what does that then look like for player wages and benefits and things like that for League One? And then maybe, players themselves don't want the team to go down to League One, but then from a financial perspective, from ownership, it just becomes very complicated very quickly. But I think the quality of play that we're seeing in Championship hopefully will trickle down to League One. And so we'll just, and League Two, of course, also, and we'll just see, increased quality of play.
Most definitely. Harry makes the question. He poses the question. Come up as pro-rel. I assume that's what P/R means. Just kidding. I know that's what that means. As promotion relegation or as a buy-in. Good question, Harry. We've already had at least 6 or 7 responses to that in our chat on cue. This is soccer. So, good question, Harry. I don't think we're going to tackle that today, but I think that's the next obvious question. We will move on to Jazz_Bay, JB. Asks us questions a lot. His is random question, no real reason to be asking. If your team hired a manager with extensive experience in a different sport, what sport would you want it to be? Are we allowed to say Gaelic football in this one? Tony, what do you think?
There are other sports.
Basketball, let's just name a few. Anyone else? I think those two have like similar ideas and strategies, even though it's on a smaller, faster, situation. Ryan, what do you think?
I'll go with the outside pick and see fantasy football just because I want to see what like an average sports fan would do, like given like the actual situation of balancing in players, just formations, actual match situations, and like for instance, like oh, Baker Mayfield, you didn't get me 10 points and you made me lost my match. You're out of a job. I'll pick up someone else. I want to see like something like that situation.
I like it. Almost like revenge for the couch, the armchair analyst. Anyone else on this one?
I mean, genuinely, the only like other sports coach that I could think of is Andy Reid, who coached the Eagles when I was like growing up and was an Eagles fan. So that shows you how much I pay attention to other sports, because you're right, Pony, there is only one sport and it is soccer.
Well, I'm aware football happens because I play fantasy football, but numbers just show up on the phone and that's the end of the week.
That's where I am these days with fantasy football, but I still enjoy it. Let's move on to the next one. At Neil Convery, have you ever eaten a walking taco? Mongols.
Oh my god. Okay. So just the backstory on this, because this is when I saw this pop up, I burst out laughing where I was sitting. Anyway, but so on Mongols this week, we did the 12 days of Christmas and we all came up with different random soccer facts. And so somehow, we were talking about the preseason and how excited we were for our first home game. And so Liz was like, yeah, we're going to have walking tacos. And Mike said, what's a walking taco? If I'm just walking around my house with a burrito, is that a walking taco? So Mike Sparks has never had a walking taco. So then we had to explain what a walking taco was.
I don't know what it is. What is it?
Wait, serious?
Oh yeah, this might
Wait,
be
really? Oh my God. Okay. So you know the individual snack size bags of like Doritos or Fritos that you can get?
Yeah.
So if you know how the bags normally are vertical, if you hold it horizontal and then you cut the top of the bag off so it's open, so you have like your Fritos, then you put your taco meat and your guacamole and your salsa and your sour cream and whatever else you put on your taco in there. And so then you can walk around with this like bag and, with a fork and it's, you eat it and it's a walking taco. Is this really a thing?
Sell that idea to Taco Bell.
I've heard of it, but I think it's like an East Coast thing, maybe.
Is it really? Okay. Well,
you haven't until you mentioned a fork or a spoon involved with a taco. I don't know about that.
It's more like it's like a taco salad, right? Okay, it's like a walking taco salad.
Yeah.
This was something like band parents would give marching band kids when they needed to like here's a quick bunch of food, and they would do like chili and stuff. But like here we just have street tacos. Like we don't need like the Fritos. We got fancy Tijuana street tacos. But no, like I've heard of walking tacos. I've heard of walking tacos before. Yeah, it's just like an easy snack. You put some meat and cheese on top of Fritos and eat it out of the bag. So you don't have to like and then when you're done, you throw the bag away.
Yeah, the soccer moms would have them at like our high school soccer games, and they would sell them for the booster club. The whole thing.
Nice. I'm glad we figured this out. Now I won't be confused in the future. Great. It's great. It makes sense. It makes total sense. Neil also asks, Laura Ellen, who's going to win in the East?
The Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Okay. No question.
Just kidding.
We're done.
How about the Western guys answer this? Pony, who do you think is going to win the East?
It's one of three teams to me. But Joey said the Riverhounds. I'll say the River. Fine. Pittsburgh.
Excellent choice.
2 votes for the Riverhounds. Alan, what do you think?
I'm gonna just keep cheering against Nashville all season. I think I did catch a Riverhounds game last year on ESPN, and the stadium was absolutely gorgeous when the sun was still out with the bridge and the river. So I will defer to our friend in the East and also say the Riverhounds.
Wow. Ryan, even if we choose, we can't beat them. What do you think?
I don't know. I just need more signings to come out of teams and like see a little bit more from rosters. I'm sure by the time we do our team draft at the start of the year, we'll have a better idea. And typically it seems that whoever's gone in our first round ends up winning the league. So it's always kind of down to like 5 teams that we choose. But yeah, I just need to see more players.
Yep. For the record, I'll just say Pittsburgh Riverhounds. I'm serious. I saw this question. I thought about it. I was like, that's who I would vote on.
Okay. So now that everyone has been like, oh, the Riverhounds, now we're going to like lose in the first round of the playoffs again, which is going to make me so upset. But what I will say, and I think you're right, Ryan, is that like, for whatever reason, like Bob didn't keep a lot of, he kept a decent amount, but like he didn't keep a ton of players from our current, from the 2018 team. And I am just, we're kind of moving forward with this idea of like, in Bob we trust, right? Which kind of freaks me out because I don't really enjoy putting my trust in white men, but that's a whole other conversation. But sorry. Anyway. But, I think you're right. I think we don't know who's going where. I do think like some of these new teams, I think they're going to have momentum. I think their players are going to have this unique kind of like first year energy that I think can, make differences in games. And so I don't know. I'm excited. I think, I know mostly the East because that's what I pay attention to, but I think it's going to be a really great season.
I think the only two really have a good chance The other two are probably I said Nashville and Louisville. With them in Pittsburgh, I think those three versus the field is probably about the right setup.
No one wants to vote for Tampa Bay Rowdies like we did last year.
Yeah, I did that last year. That did not work out too well for me.
Oh, no, it'd be funny if they turned it around with like less money. It'd be hilarious. It'd be the best. Mike D. Sparks, BGN El Presidente. Thank you, Ryan, for putting in Spanish for me. Recall your best Christmas gift ever. This is a good one. I'm going to start us off to give you guys some time to think about it. I think my best, like the one I was so excited about, and this is maybe silly and ridiculous, but probably a Sega Genesis when I was like 7 years old. I thought that was amazing. Or maybe that was Nintendo I got when I was 6. Yeah, it was. And then like 4th or 5th grade, I got a Sega Genesis. Either way, I was happy both times.
So my favorite Christmas gift, and I still have it. So my grandfather is a master woodworker. And when I was like 3 or 4, he made me this workbench that is probably, I don't know, like 2.5 feet high. So like perfect for a little kid to like walk up to it and stand and like play and color and do all these things. And it is like the sturdiest thing that you will ever find. And I remember like seeing it all wrapped, it's probably like 4.5 feet long, 3 feet wide, so it's like pretty big. And I just remember being so excited and just like playing with it constantly. And I still have it. I've like carted it all over Pennsylvania. So that was my favorite Christmas gift.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else want to share theirs?
I guess I'll go. I had one Christmas where I got 4 soccer kits. It's for Christmas. It was Colombia, Mexico, Columbus Crew Road kits, and PSG. So I thought that was pretty good. And then I guess in recent history, I laughed at the juxtaposition that one Christmas my sister got like all American cash. And then right before I was going abroad, I got everything in like British pounds.
Yeah, that's cool as a kid, right? I'm with you there. Yeah. Pony, I'm actually interested to hear what yours would be.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I mean, unless I don't remember too much from being a little kid, and most of the last like 10 years spend the what's useful gift. It's like the thing I would normally have bought off Amazon a week later.
Yeah.
I guess you could say, I got myself my cat like around this time.
Dude, I was seriously about to be like, surely a cat for Christmas is like the best.
I say it is when I got my cat.
There you go. Pony loves his kitty cat. It's good. Yeah. Alan, how about you?
Probably my early little kid gift. I remember distinctly, again, a nerdy thing. I'm getting my first trombone, like my parents buying me a trombone in like the 3rd grade.
It's a big deal because they're not cheap.
I was hyped. Like I got it out and just started playing. I wasn't very good. Just started playing it and I played it forever. I ended up donating it to a kid at my mom's school who needed one. And then recently, my wife killed it last year with the Ryan Adams Prisoner box set. It's all a bunch of singles and B-sides, and the whole thing opens up and with working lights and cut out copies of Ryan Adams and the band. So that was a pretty solid gift. I was not expecting that.
Good stuff, man. That's warms the heart. Good question there. Mike, of course. It's always Mike. I think what we're going to do is we're going to switch to quick fired so we can try to get rid of, that was mean, to try to get burn through all these throughout the end. So we'll do one person, one question. And if anyone wants to chime in very quickly, please just jump in or else I'm going to move on. Okay. Sound good? Here we go. Alan, let's do this one for you. I'm not even gonna specifically choose anyone. I'm just gonna read a question and pick a guy. Dan Chadburn, he asked thoughts. Alan, this is for you. Thoughts on the realignment/branding, and was it done with hope/potential for promotion and relegation being introduced? You got the pro rel question.
Whoa! Ouch. I really liked it. I thought it seemed pretty thought out, and I do think it opens the possibility for that. It's on the table, but who knows? It's all about money, right?
Mm-hmm. Any quick firebacks there?
No. Yes, it makes it clean possibility in the future.
A lot of people hated the names, so a lot of people just want to throw it out there. A lot of people hated it, but it is functional, isn't it? So I think that was.
I think the name's fine, and it works for England. It works for us. It works for. Or Italy, Germany, Spain.
Yep. Okay, Laura Ellen, this one's for you. At Al Bolt, little drummer Bolt, I like it. Why couldn't USL announce the championship, League One, and League Two schedules on the same day? He believes, she, I'm not sure. We'll just assume he or she. I believe it's that the leagues operate independently of one another despite being under the same umbrella. Laura, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think it's for earned media, which, I think it's just, they want to get as much media attention as they can. And if they announce on separate days, it hits different folks and nothing gets lost. So that would be the reason. That's my guess.
Yeah. And that was Ryan's opinion that I read there. That was actually no. So little drummer Bolt didn't say that, but Ryan did say that. And I agree with him. I imagine they're operating more independently than we may have thought. And I think that could be a very good thing. Ryan, you're up next. Jonathan Slape himself from Nashville Speedway Soccer. Is cheesecake a cake or a pie, Ryan?
I don't know. It's delicious.
Yes, so good.
I can't decide on either one. It's just good to eat, and I don't contemplate life-altering stuff while having dessert.
Fair enough.
The best time to contemplate life-altering stuff is while having dessert.
I don't know, when I'm having ice cream at 10 p.m. at night, that's not the best time to start evaluating my life choices.
I don't know. It might put a positive spin on everything unless you're lactose intolerant. So, there's that. Pony, this one's for you. The Curse NM for New Mexico, I have to assume. This is the supporter group for New Mexico's new team. Awesome. Thanks for asking a question, guys. Did you know that if you say bacon in a Jamaican accent and beer can in an English accent, I just said them in American accents, Midwestern to be exact, they sound the same. Is this true, Pony? Do you believe this is true?
Maybe. I'm really bad with accents. I mean, it's one of those things where, they have this. I'm like, I don't understand where anything comes from, or everything's comically faked. I'm going to take their word for it and not try to fake an accent.
I really want you to, though. Would you consider trying it for us?
I don't even really know what a Jamaican accent is, apart from being intentionally, I don't know, overly sounding out letters.
It's bad. It's real bad in my head, and it's going to be worse if I say it out loud. Anyone want to try it?
I think we should all pass.
I'll pass. I agree.
Very good option.
I'm just a little scared it could come out racist in some form or fashion.
Exactly. We're just going to pass. But thank you for the question or comment.
We can all consider it in our heads. At Home Sweet Soccer, compare a USL team's playing style to a music genre. This is perfect for you, Alan. And here's an example while you think, because this takes some thinking. Las Vegas are a psychedelic rock, loud, bright, and all over the place, right? That makes total sense. At moments, it seems it all comes together, but then there's a goalkeeper dribbling into the midfield or a 3-minute triangle solo, and you're wondering, WTF? Thank you for masking your bad words there. Alan, what do you think? That was a really good one, Home Sweet Soccer.
It's a good one. It's hard to answer for me. Because I'm like hundreds of bands run through my brain fitting different soccer styles.
I'm gonna say, since it's near you, I'm gonna help you out and let you think some more. Orange County to me seems kind of smooth, not too flashy per se, but they kind of get the job done. I feel like they're kind of like Interpol. I'm gonna call OC like Interpol. What do we think? Is that ridiculous? That's one idea. Silence. So we'll move on. Alan, have you thought of another possibility?
No, I'm blanking right now.
I know. This is a hard one. Anyone else want to key on
I could try one.
Yeah.
Last year's Tulsa is really bad opera where it's just a physical assault on the senses. I'm sorry, Tulsa.
Sorry, Tulsa. I think
I could say Toronto and said, let's change it to Toronto because they're not in the league and can't hate me. Plus, there are other people in the stands to hate me either way. So.
Oh, that's so sad.
Laura, have you thought of anything for Pittsburgh?
I was actually thinking that, and I was thinking about like what kind of music is like Park the Bus, but I don't know what kind of music I don't know, just like very like drawn out. But like at times there's these like moments of beautiful melodies and like strung together passes, but I don't know what kind of music that would be. Maybe it's like middle schoolers playing like some sort of like band or like orchestra piece, and so like sometimes they get it right and it's just like really beautiful and you're just like, oh my god, these kids are, you know, little music geniuses. But then other times you're just like, what is happening here? That doesn't seem very fair to Pittsburgh. They're not that bad, but that's what I thought of.
You just described my day job.
Classical music.
Say this turned into like take passive aggressive shots at the team segment.
No.
I was gonna go with classical music just to kind of emulate the old school play self of Lily Ball.
Yeah, there it is. See,
Except it's missing a passive aggressive shot.
When I first read this, I was trying to think of who would be like the most like jazz kind of the artistic, and I just couldn't think of one. Maybe Louisville, Memphis. Okay. Well, there you go. Okay, for obvious reasons. Let's just move on to the next one. At Ramen Call, Harry, thanks for sending this question. Well, how do you fix U.S. soccer?
Llamas.
Easy one. Yeah, we did ask for easy questions, and that's what he sent us. Laura Ellen, I think it's your turn, so fix U.S. soccer for us.
Great. I think the biggest thing to fix U.S. soccer is to get rid of the NFL, the NHL, and the MLB and force all those fans to watch soccer and to begin to understand soccer. And that will build a culture which will then fix U.S. soccer. So you're welcome.
To be honest, he didn't say it had to be like attainable. He just said, how do you do it?
And right. Honestly, and that's how you do it.
That would do it. Yeah. Authoritative moves. I like it. All right, I think we better cut it off there. There's more we can talk about, but I think for a change, we decided to take questions and totally left out the news and announcements. And, you know, there were no games played, so we didn't have to worry about that. Everyone feel pretty good about that?
I feel great.
I do too. That was your BGN USL Show Christmas Special. And we definitely need to say thanks to our sponsor, Roughneck Scarves, official scarf supplier of MLS, USL, and US Soccer. You can get custom scarves for your group or team at roughneckscarves.com. You can also hit up DK at soccerloco.com. If you click on the link at our site, theUSLshow.com, we get credit for that for soccer gear of any kind, jerseys, and all those sort of things. Also, we have a Patreon. We don't push it too hard, but it does usually help us make us sound better. We'll buy just like sound equipment if you do want to contribute. Also on our webpage, there's a link for that. That's it. Let's go through everybody because we have guests that haven't said this before. Alan, where can people find you online?
Twitter, Underwood48. And
48 years old, everybody.
That was my number when I shortly played hockey. So that's what's up.
Laura Ellen?
Yeah, so you can find me at Laura Ellen MSW, which stands for Masters of Social Work, which is the field that I'm in. Or I very much encourage you to follow WOMONGOLS. So that's WOMONGOALS. And we try and put out interesting stories, not only just about the Riverhounds, but we've been putting out some peer-reviewed pieces. So looking at the academic literature and say, what does research say about soccer? We posted an article about caffeine intake and how that may or may not improve performance in sports. And we try and put up some like provocative think pieces as well. So I very much encourage you to follow that.
As well as BGN Written to get a lot of that kind of writing and stuff like that. Good stuff to catch there. Ryan, how about you?
You can find me on Twitter at ILM_Ryan.
That's it. Pony?
Yeah, and I am at Iron Pony Chef, and I probably need to read that caffeine thing since my intake is excessive. Might be a good word.
Same here. And you can find me at Phil Grooms, 2 L's, 2 O's on Twitter. Thank you, everyone, for joining the USL show for this holiday special. Happy holidays to everybody. Give your family lots of love this holiday. High five your friends, give them some love, and of course, everybody be nice to your soccer friends over the holiday. And don't forget our number one rule, which is don't be a dick. Bye, everybody. All right.
I thought our number one rule is don't talk about that team.
It's the new number one rule.
Still alive.
Number two. Okay, stop.